Hi everyone, Jason here, Rabbit Law Mowers Australia again. Today we're going to do another test on Luba 2. This time we're going to look at running Luba 2 with no satellite signal. So we're going to use the shop behind me, going to go in and out of the roller door here, maybe right in through the shop if we can get away with it. So we're just going to set up some areas, both inside and outside, and some pathways, channels between areas. We're going to see what Luba can do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up an area inside and outside, and we'll test to see how the mower actually mows where it's got no GPS signal. Well, hopefully we'll see what happens. Let's take him off the dock here, and we'll set up an area half in and half out of the garage area here. So we'll just turn him a little bit to the side here. Oh, no Bluetooth. Okay, so we're going to start mapping here. We're going to take it nice and slow. So the one thing I've learned a lot with playing with Luba is that mapping really slow in areas that have got low GPS is really the best way to do things. I'm going to make this map a bit smaller so you can see what's happening on the screen here. Okay, so we're going to go nice and close up here. And you'll see on the screen there now, you'll see on the phone screen that we've now got remaining 22.6 meters of mapping distance with no RTK or no satellite signal. So we'll just keep it about 10 centimeters away from the edge here. Maybe a little bit less there, basically, but anyway. And through here, we'll turn. Such. So we've now got 18 meters to go. And we'll go straight out and finish the area off. Yep, and tick. Task area complete. Okay, we're going to finish that. It's automatically added a pathway to our base station that was already set up, and we will set it up to mow this area. So it's mow, task, area 1, save. Now it's just going to go into the customize settings. So I've got line spacing very, very close together there, so 20 centimeter line spacing. And we'll put on one border cut so we can see how it cuts the border. That should do it. Confirm. We'll just preview that, make sure it's going up and down. There's our one border cut. No problems at all. Go back out there. We'll start. Okay, so it completed its border lap without too many issues whatsoever. It was probably not exactly perfect on the border how it was mapped, but very, very close. So we're now going up and cutting its first zigzag pattern all the way to the end. And so it actually goes really quite to exactly where it was mapped. Works almost exactly the same as if it was actually outside in the open. You can also see on the screen there again with the 50 meters counting down. Counting down to 45, 44. Once it gets out here, 43, it'll come back on again, get its reception back, and then reset that 50 meters again. So once it turns around here, Comes back in again, and you'll see once it gets about 3/4 of the way in here, it'll then show you the position's not right, or hasn't got a position now. It starts counting down from 50 metres. Once it gets to the end of 50 metres, the robot will actually stop. We got very, very close to that ball there. So that works really, really well. There's no issues about being able to map. There's no issues with it executing the actual mow cycle. So the next thing I want to try and do is to see how it goes once we actually take it off its path. But before we do that, because we don't really have much opportunity here to actually see it out of its when it's got no GPS positioning. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to wait for it to get up here further, and I'm actually going to put some foil over the back to block the GPS positioning. Put that on there like such. Okay. So now it actually won't get its positioning back. So we're going to let it go, and you watch the 50 metre counter now will keep counting down all the way out. And it should still turn around exactly as it should. Oh yeah. Can't control the weather, can you? Okay, so we're counting down 50 metres, but what I want to do is see what it does if we literally push it off its track and see how it actually recovers, which it really recovers quite well. I'm really quite surprised that they're able to position themselves after they've been kicked off track. So even though it's got no positioning whatsoever, it's able to, oh, it's going to bump into it. No, it's not. It's trying to position itself, trying to work out where it is. Seems to know where it is on the map, so that's very positive. Let's see if it can find its way out and mow that last little section. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. Comes back out, and even with the wind will probably blow the foil off again in a second. But so it's got no GPS positioning, and it still manages to get its way back to where it needed to mow that last little strip. So really good. I mean, that's really, really impressive to be able to do that. So it's now going to go back to the charge because it's finished its job. But that is really, really impressive. It's now going back to the recharge with no positioning either. So it's found its way back on its track, and it's able to position itself. Only got 3 metres left before it stops, but that is really, really quite impressive to be able to do that. Take his little foil hat off. Okay guys, so the next one we're going to do is I'm going to create a zone or a new area. So we're going to here, mapping, we'll go add, we're going to add an area, and I'm going to take him, now I'm going to take him all the way inside the shop here basically. Take him around here. We're going to take him through the door here. Now obviously there is no GPS signal inside the shop here, okay? So what I want to demonstrate here is that I can start mapping here. So that right now you can see on the screen of the phone that it's down to 20.9 meters of available mapping distance without any GNSS signal. Now I can start mapping here, and I can create a little map. I'm going to just do it fairly quickly here. Probably should have cleaned some stuff out of the shop before I did this, but that's okay. But you can see we're actually able to create a zone that has got no GNSS signal at all from start to finish. However, you are not able to save it. So you can see in the very bottom right hand corner of the phone screen, we're not getting that green tick to be able to save it. So you can create a zone inside with no GNSS signal whatsoever, but you cannot save it. So the finishing point, the saving point, really needs to be in a GNSS signal area of some description. So we're unable to save that one. So we're going to back out of there. Confirm that.
Task area complete.
So it didn't save it. It can't save it. But we're going to reverse out of here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the existing area that we've got. Okay, so we're going to go back here, we're going to go edit, we're going to modify the area, and I want to basically just go back here. We'll start from here, and I'll press start, and we are able to modify the existing map. I've only got 10 or 11 meters left outside of GNSS signal here, but let's just go through. We're down to still got 8 meters, that's okay. A nice tight turn here. We're going to map that out there and find that spot there, and we're going to view that. And look, it doesn't look terrible. It's not probably not the best I've seen, but now you can see that we've now added that extra area inside that map. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go back, and I'm going to go into the map again. We're going to select the area, we're going to confirm the area, and we're going to mow the area, but just going to do a single border lap is all I'm going to do. So we're going to go into customize here. We're on one border lap. Path order, no-go zone. So the cutting path, we're going to go to perimeter only. Yeah, so we're going to make it so there's no zigzag putting, just one perimeter around the outside. And we're going to go OK, and we're going to go in here and press start and start. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, that's its first bump. And I think you find that's because we've got a bit of a zigzag where I've started the creation of the new map. Oh, just touched there as well. Nearly knocked the table on its own head. Just trying to take out all the crest mowers. So the border edging wasn't perfect there, obviously. It definitely was over at least 10 centimetres more than where we mapped it. Okay. So he managed to make that border cut okay. So look, again, I wouldn't exactly call it an absolute perfect success. We obviously had some issues. The zigzag it did just here was really because of how I've started the edit on the map, and we didn't have the robot in exactly the right position when we started the edit. But it came through here, it actually followed the path really quite well through here. Turned, overshot that corner, so that side there definitely overshot, and all the way along there it overshot by probably about 10 centimetres or so. So enough for it to bump into things, but it still managed to get its way around quite okay, and didn't destroy anything, and managed to complete its lap. So all in all, I think that's really, really good that the robot is actually really able to do that at all, just to be able to map it in the first place, let alone execute the actual border cut afterwards. So I think that's fantastic. Okay, so next one is that we're going to look at creating a pathway between this zone here that we've now got, and we're going to run out the door here. I've put a little ramp there so we can actually get it out, and we'll create another little zone outside the door here. So let's firstly create a new zone. So create a zone, and we want to go just do it here somewhere. Just want to make sure it's outside of the no-go area of the charging station. Okay, so that's created just a little zone for us to have we're going to continue mapping, and we're going to create a channel. Now, firstly, I think what I want to do is, so we're going to add a channel, but I don't really want to take it from this edge here. I'm going to take it, so I'm going to start the channel on the inside where there's no GNSS signal. Now what I'd like to sort of demonstrate is that if the robot's pushed out of its way, so I'm going to just push the robot over there a little bit. Now, it does know it's moved because we know it senses itself really, really well. But when the robot comes from inside with no GNSS signal and then travels outside to where it has got GNSS signal, at some point you're probably going to see a little zigzag in the border. So let's start the path. Channel planning, and we'll keep it reasonably slow. Go out to the area, and little green tick comes up, little green tick we put in it, and we'll go finished. Now I just want to have a really good close look at that, and it's actually really good, but at times what you can see is in the actual path itself you'll see a zigzag, and we'll see if we can't demonstrate it with something else afterwards, but let's send that home from there. So we'll just go home, confirm, and he'll try and make his way home through that channel. Oh, he's not doing too great, but he fell through. He made it through the door. Probably shouldn't have put a turn on the bottom of the ramp, I'd say. Okay, so I'm going to go into the edit buttons again, and we're going to delete pretty much everything. Let's just delete it all out. Delete and delete. Actually, I'll leave that zone outside there. We don't need to move that one. Okay, so I'm going to create another zone here. So we're going to create a zone. So I'm going to start the zone where it actually has reception, because like we said before, you can, well actually let's just test that. Can you start a zone and finish a zone if it gets GNSS signal along the way? So let's take it all the way over here. So we know it's got no GNSS signal. It's worth noting too that it only allows you to map 25 meters with no GNSS signal, and it allows it to mow for 50 meters. So it's going to allow us to start planning. So I just want to make this fairly narrow and through here. We'll go out to where it actually has got GNSS signal. There we go, it's just got its signal back again now. And we'll come back and see if we can't close this loop. I'm not sure if we can. Okay, so it's just gone into the path. So yeah, so it's not, it's allowing us to complete it. Might be because it was very close to the edge there. Oh, it's gone all over the place. Wow. It's doing all sorts of weird things.
Task area complete.
Let's just have a look, see what that actually ended up looking like. Actually ended up looking okay. I'm just going to have a look at mowing that for a second. Just want to see what the border cuts actually look like. So we zoom in there. It's not terrible, but there is definitely some issues with the border there on the very bottom left-hand corner, which is actually up in this corner here. It actually jumps across because it didn't line up properly. So the reason I want to do that is because I want to see if I can't demonstrate a pathway that doesn't actually meet up properly, and when it gets outside, it has a zigzag in it. So we're going to, from here, create a pathway. So we're going to add a channel, and we're going to run that channel through the shop again. We're going to run it, and I think we might, yeah, poor positioning, which means it won't let us start. So it doesn't know where it is right now. So because the robot has sort of lost its positioning, doesn't quite know where it is, and it needs to go back out into the GNSS signal again before it comes back. So we're inside the zone here, but is it going to let us if we stay in there? So we're definitely inside, but it's got bad signal. It will not let us start the pathway. So what I'm going to do is we're going to drive it outside again. Let it get its GNSS signal back, like such. And then we're going to drive it back through the pathway, and hopefully it will let us start the border. Oh, yeah, it's still okay. Still okay. So we're going to start from here. So channel planning. We're going to run this out through the doorway here again. I'm just going to keep it fairly straight through here this time, and not turn it directly at the bottom of the ramp. Now we'll turn and go into our area. Once it's in the area, it allows us to save the channel. Now I just want to have a look at that channel where it goes out the door again. And again, it's actually quite straight, so we shouldn't have any issues at all. It really appears to be very good. So what I was trying to demonstrate was if you do end up with a zigzag on the channel where it passes between not having GNSS signal and then having GNSS signal, then the best way to do that is to change direction, which is just map it back the other way. but that's really working quite well. So we'll just send him home again from there, just to make sure he's going to work. There is no channel. Oh, because there's no home. He can't go home. Okay, well let's just go and we'll mow zone 1 instead. Mow 1, save, and go. That'll send him through his channel. Did I really do that, people? I think I did. Because that's actually zone 1's outside, zone 2's inside, isn't it? So we're going to end that task.
Working complete.
We're going to select the main area, which is this one. It's actually area 2, isn't it? Save that, start, and go.
Start working.
I think he had a bump there. He was might have just been a little bit rough for him, I think.
Stop working.
Okay, we might make it just a little bit smoother for him and just make sure it wasn't just a bump. Okay, so we put a little bit of extra ramp on this side as well now. So let's do the same thing again. We'll send him out to mow in that area. No. This area to just area 2, save, start, next. Okay, let's see how he goes this time. He wants to do a little zigzag there. So, really not quite sure why he wants to do that. So it's going to give me a chance to demonstrate what I said before, and that is starting from a good GNSS signal area first, rather than a poor signal. So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to end that.
Working complete.
And then we're going to go into delete again, and we're going to delete out the channel for area 1. Just that one. And then we're going to reinstall that channel, but from the outside working in, not the other way around. So let's go back, add channel. So what this is really doing by adding the channel in this direction allows it to have its GPS signal and know exactly where it is, and then go into planning via the camera.
Channel planning.
So it should hopefully eliminate the chance of it having a little zigzag between where it has GNSS signal and where it switches over to camera. Okay, should we get a tick? We get a tick, which is another interesting thing, that you can actually save. You can save the end of a channel in an area that has no GNSS signal, but you can't save a map where it has no GNSS signal, so it's quite interesting.
Channel complete.
Okay, channel complete. Let's finish that. We'll send it out to area 1 to mow this time. Just to send it out there, confirm. Area 1, save, start, next.
Start working.
Still wants to have a bit of fun now with that. He's really got something against the crest cabinets. I think it's the crest gear here. He's completely against. see on the map there, if I'm driving by remote obviously at the moment, once we get him out the door, he's on his map. He's actually on the line. But if I drive him, reverse him straight backwards on the same line, once he gets inside the shop, yeah, it's not terrible, it's just not perfect. Okay, let's just see if I can't send him just from there. Out here, send him outside to zone 1. Save, start, and start.
Start working.
And now he's perfectly happy. Explanation, I do not have. Oh, this is that weird U-turns that a few people have actually seen, where he tries to do a bit of a turnaround before continuing on. I've seen that on someone else's video clip where he's following a perfectly straight path and then decides to do a circle or a half circle and then go back again. So that's that little glitch. So I think we'll have one more go at this, and we're going to try mapping it very, very slowly to make sure that the camera gets as many points as possible when it's actually recording its points. Okay, so he's got into his area again.
Stop working.
We're going to end that task.
Working complete.
And we're going to delete it again. So edit, delete area 1 path. Like such. Go back, add, channel, create. Okay, so this time I'm going to go in this direction first to see what actually happens. 15 meters left, that'll be fine. So we're going to start channel.
Channel planning.
And I'm just going to take it very, very slowly all the way to try and make sure that the robot gets as many reference points as possible. I'll try and stand out of the way so it's not referencing me when it's recording it. Because what the camera does essentially is it picks points of reference and stores those in its memory. So if we give it enough chance, hopefully, to store as much as possible, and hopefully it may not do its little pirouette right in the only spot where it doesn't have the room to do it. Going to maintain as straight a path as possible all the way through. It's already trying to go the wrong direction. Not sure why. Going to try and go towards the red counter again. It's just gone to the side. It's still definitely hanging very, very close to the red side, but it didn't do a pirouette on its way. So we'll try and map it again from the outside in, like before, like I mentioned, because that seems to be a bit of a transition issue, that one, between working on camera versus working on GNSS. Okay, so we're going to start from the outside, and we're going to work our way in nice and slowly. We keep everything as slow as possible. the ramp up, because the ramp is a little bit out of whack there. Okay. So you'll notice that it actually got about 2.5 meters inside the shop before it switched over to using the camera. So that could also have something to do with it jumping around just inside the door. Okay.
Channel complete.
Let us try yet again. And I want to do area 1. Save.
Start working.
Let's see how we go this time. That was a much more confident trip. Let him get out there and we'll send him back and we'll see if that's fixed up our issues. So honestly, I really am incredibly impressed by what Momotion have been able to achieve with this camera system. Just to be able to travel through the shop and out and have no reception and be able to track itself is just phenomenal. So I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to send it back out to the front via this channel, and then I'm going to disturb its pass. So I'm going to see if it can maintain its pathway if I start pushing it around. So let's just start right from the start here, and we'll just give him a bit of a kick, bit of a spin, and we'll see how he recovers. So again, remembering this has got no GNSS signal here whatsoever. It's counting down the 50 meters for its pathway, and he is managing to still make his way into the shop. Give him a bit of a kick. Still able to find his way, still following the pathway. Turn him almost around. Actually, let's just turn him right around. No, he just finds his way back, almost no matter what. It really is phenomenal what he's actually doing. So it doesn't matter what you do, he finds his way back onto his path and he continues out on his way. So the camera vision really is rather fantastic. Okay, so the last thing we're going to test, one of my watchers has requested, is how well the base station can actually operate now outside of a GNSS area. So we're going to move this base station inside here and we'll see exactly what happens. Okay, so I have put the base station all the way down the back here, which we know is definitely outside of the GNSS view, or the camera, sorry, the satellite reception. We're going to move the robot. You can see the robot still says on the charger there that the charger's over there because I haven't relocated it yet. So let's just reverse him. I'll see my reversing skills are here. I think that should be okay.
Start charging.
Okay, so as soon as you put him on the charge in a different location, it's going to come up with the error or the new window there that actually tells you to reset the charging station or the RT key reference station. Now, the RT key reference station has moved please reset RTK reference station. Now, if you reset the reference station, you will have to remap all your maps. So be very careful of these two options now that both of them come up. In previous revisions, only one of the options came up to say you want to move the charging station. So the top one, which is the charging station has moved, please relocate the charging station. You press that, and then it asks you if you want to confirm that. We say confirm, and it says successful. Now, again, you can see in the top right-hand corner there, you can see it's 22.4 meters of leftover travel it can take without any GNSS signal. So it's reset itself with no GPS coordinates whatsoever. It's done it pure and simply of its IMU when it's actually put itself onto the charger there. So camera and IMU to position itself on the charger. Now, it shows it in the correct spot on the map. So let's mow that area and see if it actually goes out, and we'll come back. We'll leave the other area alone for now. Just going to do that one border lap. It says it's okay as far as it's able to start work.
Start working.
And it starts working. Okay, so from out there we won't worry about actually mowing the area because we know that already works. I will send it home. Sending it home. Positions itself fairly well in front of the charger. And once it gets into its infrared zone, it's going to charge itself or dock itself no problems whatsoever. So that is quite honestly a little bit amazing, to tell you the truth. I wasn't sure whether Motion actually recommend putting the charging station outside of the satellite view, but it certainly appears as though it's going to work perfectly okay. We might just leave it at that. But I didn't expect that to happen, to tell you the truth, guys. I thought it would require a GNSS position before it would actually save the location of the base station. So that means essentially you can have this, you can have the base station at least 25 meters outside of GPS positioning. Now, I'm not sure if it's 50 or 25, because when we put it there, when we're driving it in, when it's not mowing, it only allows you to actually go 25 meters without GNSS signal. So to be able to put the track in, to be able to put the channel in between the charging station and the first zone, whatever it might be, that distance can only be 25 meters. So that's a significant change again, and that's going to help out a lot of people, I imagine, when it comes to being able to park these robots now away from or out undercover in your garage and under your house, wherever it might be. Awesome. Okay, so I thought I might just bring the wrap-up video inside. Traffic's starting to get a little bit noisy outside, so hopefully you can hear me a bit better in here. Well, what do? We have mapped the robot 50-50 in GNS signal and in no GNS signal, and had it mow perfectly okay. Whilst mowing there, we managed to, we pushed and pulled the robot around when it had no GNS signal. We put some foil over the top here to make sure it had no GNS signal for longer periods of time, and then even if you pushed and pulled it around, the robot still managed to push it to find its way back to where it needed to be, which is pretty miraculous. I wasn't really expecting that to happen. I really wasn't. I figured that once it's working on its cameras and its RMU system only, I would have suspected that once we push it off its track that it might actually get a little bit confused and try and work itself out and not recover sometimes. But that wasn't the case. It recovered perfectly every single time without any problems at all. After that, we created, we tried creating a zone inside the actual store here where there's literally no GNS signal at all from start to finish, sort of thing. So, and we were able to create the zone, but we were not able to save the zone. So when you're mapping areas, you can start the area mapping outside of GNSS signal, but when you finish the GNSS mapping, you must finish it inside, well, where it can actually get a GPS position or GNSS position, I should say. After that, we looked at putting the track through the store, so the channel. So we actually created an area outside, and then we put a channel through the door here, out through the shop, and back out through the garage into the other area. And that worked quite okay for a little bit there for a start. It really was quite okay. But then we sort of discovered that we had some issues with it, with that track not being created perfectly properly. So it's quite a bit of time required, a bit of patience required more than anything, to make sure that you map them really slowly. And we seem to have more success when we mapped starting where the GNSS signal was and then through the area that didn't have any GNSS signal. But mapping very slowly and allowing the camera to take as many points as possible, reference points as possible when it's mapping through that area, seemed to be quite an important thing. And then also while we did that, we started spinning the robot around, kicking it around, trying to get it to go off its track, and it just kept turning straight back to where it needed to be and back onto its track again. So yeah, sensational. I mean, honestly, I did not expect them to be able to recover so well when they're working purely on the camera and IMU system. But they do, they're fantastic as it turns out. And then last but not least, and probably fairly important to a lot of people, I imagine, because I wasn't expecting this one either, to tell you the truth, is that we moved the charging station to well and truly undercover, where it had no GNSS reception whatsoever. So when mapping the track back to the area, or when putting it into the area, that charging station was at least 5 meters away from anywhere where you could get GNSS signal. So it was able to save the location of the base station and position itself correctly, and the robot was able to leave, mow the area, and come back, no problems at all. So I think that's really is quite a big deal, that one. Being able to actually position that charging station under your house, in a garage, somewhere where there's no GNSS signal at least anyway, and be able to create a pathway or a channel back to that is going to be very important for some people. So with that, when you're mapping, so whenever you're doing any mapping function with the robot, it only allows you to travel 25 meters with no GNSS signal. So once it's working on its camera system only, it'll only go for 25 meters. When it's mowing, it'll allow itself to go 50 meters, which in a roundabout way is why I'm probably thinking they're calculating it's 25 meters in to the no GNSS signal, and then 25 meters out. So they're doubling up that number. But it certainly seems like being able to get 25 meters, getting the charging station 25 meters, outside of your zone, undercover, is going to be it's a bit of a game changer for a few people, no doubt. So that's really it, guys, for this one. I'll wrap it up at that. And like I've been saying in all the previous videos, if you've got something you want me to test, let me know, put it in the comments below, and we'll test it with Luba 2, or any other robot mower for that matter. It doesn't matter what robot we're talking about, but I'm more than happy to test these things for you, and create this video content so that people can see the content. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you like what you've seen so far. If you're in Australia and you're looking for any assistance whatsoever with robotic lawnmowers, give us a call or send us an email at sales@robotlawnmowers.com.au. Check out all the information we've got on our website at www.robotlawnmowers.com.au, and check out all our our socials, Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.